All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're looking at a brand new AI model that honestly feels like it was built from the ground up for developers, for the indie builders out there. If you've ever tried to build an AI agent that can actually do stuff in the real world, you're going to want to stick around for this.
But hey, before we get to the cool new solution, let's set the stage. Let's talk about the core problem, a dilemma that I am sure every single person watching this has felt at some point.
You know the feeling, right? You've got this incredible, game-changing idea for an AI agent. And then, bam, you hit a brick wall. The really powerful models are way too expensive, the big systems are totally locked down, and the open source options, well, they just don't have the horsepower for complex tasks. It's so frustrating.
So what you really need, is to move beyond the shiny tech demos that look cool but fall apart under pressure. We need real, dependable tools that are fast enough and smart enough to build an actual business on.
And that is exactly the gap we're talking about today. So let's meet the model that might just be the answer. This is Step 3.5 Flash, and for a lot of builders, this is going to feel like a new superpower.
So, what makes it so special? Well, this slide shows the core idea perfectly. Older models are dense. Think of it like one single giant brain trying to do everything at once, which is super slow. But a sparse model, that's totally different. It's more like a team of experts, and for any given problem, only the right specialist gets called in to help.
And here's the magic trick behind it all. It's an architecture called Sparse Mixture of Experts, or SMO. This gives you something the source calls intelligence density. You get all the power of a massive model, but without the insane computational cost for every single token, every little piece of text. It's all about efficiency. And the numbers here are just wild. The whole model has 196 billion parameters. Think of those as the little dials and knobs that control its intelligence. But for any one task, it only activates a tiny, super efficient slice of 11 billion. It's the definition of working smarter, not harder.
And all that efficiency? Well, it translates into one thing: raw speed. We're talking up to 350 tokens per second for coding tasks. That is so fast that it feels like a real conversation, which is absolutely essential when you're building agents that have to think and act on the fly.
And then there's this, the context window, a massive 256,000 tokens. To put that into perspective, that's like having the model read an entire book in one go. It means your AI agent can understand the entire history of a project, not just little tiny pieces of it. It's a game changer.
Okay. So the specs sound amazing on paper, but you know what they say, the proof is in the pudding. So how does this thing actually perform when the rubber meets the road? Let's check out the report card. Whoa, okay, just look at this. When it comes to coding, on some of the hardest benchmarks out there, it's scoring right up there with, and sometimes even beating, models that are way bigger and more expensive. It's seriously punching above its weight. And it's the exact same story when we look at so-called agentic tasks, which is just a fancy way of saying its ability to use tools and actually get stuff done. Again, it's super competitive, often beating models that are using way more active parameters. That SMOE efficiency is really paying off. All right, so the benchmarks are solid, but let's be real. What does that actually mean for you, for your projects? How does all this theory translate into real-world power? This is where it gets really, really cool. First off, the team that built this, they don't even call it a chatbot. That's not how they see it. They frame it as a think and act engine. It was designed from its very core to understand a complex goal and then figure out all the steps to get there.
And here is a perfect example of what that looks like in action. Check out this stock portfolio agent. In one single, seamless loop, it is coordinating over 80 different tools, pulling in live market data, running its own Python analysis, and then generating charts and alerts. That is an incredibly complex, start-to-finish job, and it's doing it all by itself.
So we're not just talking about simple little automations. In one test, they had it act as a professional data analyst, and it actually beat other top-tier models on realistic jobs like cleaning up messy data and figuring out what it all means. It can handle the complex, nuanced work of a pro.
Now, here's the part that I think is the most exciting piece of this whole story. All of this power, all of this capability, it's not locked away in some giant expensive data center. You can actually run this thing yourself. You know, there's a line from the documentation that just hits the nail on the head. It says the ability to run a model locally is what separates fun toy models from serious tools you can build products on.
And that is so true.
And when we say you can run it yourself, we're not talking about needing a warehouse full of servers. Look at this. It's designed to run on high-end but totally accessible hardware. We're talking powerful desktop machines. You can build and ship world-class AI products right from your desk.
And this is it's huge. Having full control of your own AI stack means you're not at the mercy of some third-party API that could change its prices or just shut down. Plus, if you work with any kind of sensitive data, contracts, financials, health info, local control isn't just a nice-to-have, it's an absolute must. So let's just take a quick step back. We've seen the problem that all of us builders face. We've seen this really elegant solution in STEP 3.5 Flash, we've seen the proof in its performance, and we've seen how you can take complete control of it. So that just leaves one question.
To wrap it all up, STEP 3.5 Flash gives you this incredible combination. You got top-tier, frontier-level intelligence. You get insane speed and a massive memory. And you get the freedom to run it all on your own machine. It's that total package that puts truly powerful AI into the hands of every developer out there.
And that really brings us to the final thought. With this kind of AI, one that is this fast, this smart, and completely under your control, the power to build the next generation of AI agents is, for the first time, literally sitting on your desktop. So the only question left is, what are you going to build first?